Hello everyone, welcome back to That Franchise Guy. Today we're doing top 10 running backs in the NFL. So we're going to dive right in here. Number 10 is C.J. Anderson, actually. A guy that had a down year, but I really think that the fantasy outlook on him kind of gave him a negative perception when really you watch him on tape and he is tough, hard-nosed. He runs about as hard as anyone in the NFL, breaks a lot of tackles that most running backs won't break. And when I laid out all the running backs, really it came down to between, say, him, Devonta Freeman, Mark Ingram, and Dion Lewis. And when I really looked at it, I just decided I think I would want C.J. Anderson ahead of those guys. And at number 9, we have Doug Martin. Doug's kind of tough because he was in a contract year, and you saw a totally different Doug Martin last year than we had seen 2 years before. And it just makes you wonder if his head is in a consistent place where he's going to show us that again. I think he will, now that he's really been resonated as that top guy in Tampa. Talent-wise, when he is putting it all together, he's top 5. He's fantastic. So number 9 for Doug Martin with potential to move up for sure. At number 8 is Jonathan Stewart. And honestly, before about a week ago, when I watched the entire season of the Panthers, I had never really considered Jonathan Stewart, but he's another guy that, like C.J. Anderson, when you watch, he is tough as hell. He breaks tackles, trucks forward, and he's got pretty good speed too. He doesn't get a ton of touchdowns because they get vultured from Mike Tolbert and Cam Newton, but I definitely like Jonathan Stewart as a top 8 running back talent in the NFL. At number 7, I still have Matt Forte, a guy that really does it all. He catches it very well out of the backfield, great runner between the tackles, and his stiff arm is one of the best stiff arms in the NFL, where he can just shrug people aside with a simple movement, and it's just awesome. A couple more good years in New York, maybe doesn't even need that, but close to a Hall of Famer for me for Matt Forte. Getting up there in age, though, so that's why he's down here at 7. At number 6, we have our first young guy, and that's David Johnson. And, yeah, small sample size, but this guy's 6 foot, 6'1", just jacked out of his mind, fast, can catch the ball out of the backfield. So much potential for David Johnson, and we saw it all come together towards the end of the year last year. So just at 6 because of the small sample size. But David Johnson could seriously, if I did this list a year from now, be the number 1 player on this list, just judging on potential. At number 5, it's LeSean McCoy. Played behind a okay offensive line last year, but still has that elusiveness and shiftiness and vision that you want out of a guy like LeSean McCoy. And I just think he's going to have a huge year. He seems to be, he's got his head in the right place, and I still think he has it. We're just 2 years away from calling him the best running back in football right there with Adrian Peterson. At number 4, coming off an ACL injury, it's Jamaal Charles, and he's getting older. I just have faith in Jamaal Charles. He's come off an ACL before, and when he's healthy, this guy's top 3 easily. He's never had a season under 5 yards per carry. And no running back in NFL history has ever done that. And yeah, yards per carry isn't the best stat. You can have an 80-yard rush and have 2-yard gains every other play and average 6 yards a carry on 15 carries. Anyway, I love Jamaal Charles, just a competitor, so elusive. So number 4 for Jamaal. At number 3, we got Todd Gurley, Rookie of the Year. I don't think I really have to say much about Todd Gurley. He really does it all. And I've talked about him in the past. I think he's a Hall of Fame talent. So we're going to move on to number 2, and that's Le'Veon Bell. Probably the best all-around back in the NFL, which if you watch these videos for Madden ratings, that's why Le'Veon is actually ahead of my number 1 running back, because Madden takes your ability to do everything into account. So catching the ball, being elusive, ball carrier vision, strength, everything. Le'Veon Bell is just phenomenal. I think of that 2-point conversion attempt against San Diego last year where They were down by 1, decided to go for 2, and they ran it with Le'Veon. Didn't get a whole lot of blocking, but he was patient, waited it out, and just barely snuck in for the win. One of my most favorite Le'Veon Bell plays right there. And at number 1, it's Adrian Peterson. I'm not going to say a whole lot. He's just a beast, so hard to tackle, so fast in the open field. And that's all I'm going to say about Adrian Peterson. Thanks, guys. Hope you liked it. We're going to move on to wide receivers in the next video. And also be sure to check out my Twitter at TFG_football for live film analysis and Madden ratings updates and a whole lot more football stuff. Thanks, guys. Bye.